And we are following breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Major League Baseball announcing they will now be cracking down on foreign substances used to increase grip on the ball beginning Monday. That is June 21st. They say that players who violate the rule will be subject to an immediate ejection and a 10-game suspension. Starting pitchers will have multiple mandatory checks throughout the game, and relief pitchers will be checked at the end of every inning or when they are pulled from the game. And of course, you can see at the bottom there, repeat offenders will have progressive discipline. All right, let's welcome in the host of Nothing Personal, former president of the Marlins, David Samson here. David, Monday, this is now beginning Monday, June 21st. Is that sooner than you expected?
No, I think the players have been ready for this for actually quite a while. What happened is that Major League Baseball, through the commissioner, they let out sort of a purposeful leak, letting players and pitchers and front offices know that this rule that's actually been around forever is going to start getting enforced. And that lets the teams get their players ready to start pitching without the benefit of the foreign substances that they're so used to using.
David, I mean, they say they're going to have mandatory checks throughout the game. How is this logistically going to happen now throughout these games?
I think it's going to be interesting to watch the pace of game and see whether or not game times increase. I'm not so sure practically mandatory checking. I think what you'll see is in between innings, the umpires will just be looking more carefully. They'll take a look at what's going on during an inning. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Joe West going out at a 2-1 count to see what's going on under the pitcher's cap.
David, there's a thing there about pitchers wearing sunscreen. If he does, they can't use rosin there. What do you think about that particular thing there? What's going to happen?
Well, pitchers use all kinds of different ingredients. They have sunscreen, pine tar, rosin, now this new thing called spider tack, and they put it in different places under their uniform, below their belt, under their cap. You see when pitchers take their glove off, sometimes they put their hand in the glove, it's inside the glove. So really the umpires know what to look for because it's been going on for so many years and decades. I'm not surprised that it's now going to be enforced because the game has changed so much that the players and the owners unanimously agree that there's not enough offense, there's only home runs, strikeouts, and walks, and they want more hits, more action.
David, a lot of players have been speaking out, of course, about their opinions on this coming here starting now on Monday, banning these foreign substances. Garrett Cole was asked if he ever used any illegal substances, particularly called spider tack. Here's what he had to say.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest. I mean, there are customs and practices that have been passed down from older players to younger players, from the last generation of players to this generation of players, and you know, I think there are some things that are certainly out of bounds in that regard, and I've stood pretty firm in terms of that, in terms of the communication between our peers and whatnot. You know, and I, again, like I mentioned earlier, there's, you know, this is important to a lot of people that love the game, and this is including the players in this room, including fans, including, you know, teams. And so if MLB wants to, you know, legislate some more stuff, that's a conversation that we can have, because ultimately we should all be pulling in the same direction on this.
All right, David, so Garrett Cole yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure where to start there, Amanda, because he has the answer to the question, and it's yes, he uses them. And it's not that MLB is legislating. Let's make sure we are informing our audience about what's happening. This is an existing rule that is now going to be enforced. It's not a new rule that is being sprung upon the pitchers all of a sudden and the players. They've always known that they've been breaking the rule, and now MLB is just enforcing it. So what happens next will happen in collective bargaining, whether or not that rule stays in place, whether or not there's going to be an addition to the collective bargaining agreement that talks about which substances can be used and by whom and when. But you're talking about another layer of issues that players and management have to go through now.
David, some players have said this may cause more injuries for them, not having a particular grip on the ball. Tyler Glasnow, now granted, he is injured right now, but somewhat alluding, talking to reporters, say, hey, we could see more potential injuries because of this. What do you think about that?
So I'm wondering what Tyler meant, because what we used to tell our players with their foreign substances, which they used, is we wanted them to have better command because we didn't want people like Giancarlo Stanton to get hit in the face. And we didn't want to hit any opposing team's players except when we did it on purpose, and that's always in the backside. So what these substances do is they give you better command. But now it's evolved like technology. Pitchers in the old days used typewriters as foreign substances. Now they've got super fast computers that were invented, like Spider Tack, which not just gives you command, but it also gives you a better spin rate, which means your breaking ball breaks better, which means your fastball can move in, it can move out. It means it's impossible to hit. And so I must tell you that position players, they want foreign substances gone, not because like in the old days, they don't want to get hit, because they want to get a hit. Pitchers, they want to keep doing what they're doing because the best pitchers are even better using these substances, like Garrett Cole, maybe even like a Max Scherzer, et cetera.
All right, David, thanks so much for joining us. Again, this going into effect now on Monday, a little bit sooner than some thought, but not you, David Samson. You said you saw this coming. You can hear much more from David on his podcast there. Also check him out on YouTube, Nothing Personal with David Samson. I'm sure he will be weighing in on this. Make sure to download and follow. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.